Hi everyone, welcome back to Homemaking 101. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you some more of my gardening. So I have my plants growing inside like I showed in my previous video. They are growing very well, but it's time to separate them because they are growing way too close together. Because when you put your seeds in, you put more seeds in than what you need because you don't know which ones are going to grow, which ones are not. So most of mine grew, so now it's time to separate them into smaller containers. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the best way I like to put my plants to separate them is to use egg cartons. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the top off. Just going to take your scissors and cut down the center. The top part, I don't use this part because you can't really plant much in here, so I go ahead and recycle that. This part, I'm going to cut this little flap off as well. And then these are nice because they make nice little individual sections for your plants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill each of these holes with dirt, and then I'm going to put one plant in each. Now another nice thing about using egg cartons is when I'm ready to plant these and I have a little plant in each one, what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut these apart into their little squares, and you go ahead and put that little square right in the ground because this will just disintegrate. So these work great and you can just transfer them right into the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and fill with dirt, and then I'm going to show you my plants. So let's get started. Dirt. So now we're going to take our plants, and here I have my kale. You can see it's growing very well. So I'm going to take one of the containers out. Now I didn't water these this morning yet because I knew I wanted to transplant them, and I don't want water running everywhere. So I did go ahead and wait on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a plate here so I don't make a mess everywhere. I'm going to turn this upside down and just push it out. So then you can just slowly let this fall apart. And then we're going to go ahead and separate these guys. Now you want to be careful, you don't want to tear anybody. Just carefully separate the tops because they are very tangled together. So I'm going to be very, very gentle with them. As you can see here, I still have a lot of plants, but down in here is some good roots. So we want to make sure that we don't rip their roots apart too much, or else they will not grow. So I'm going to try to separate these as best I can, and then I am just laying each individual one in here. Now the ones that don't have a ton of roots, just lay them aside in case you need them, but you want to try to save the ones with really good roots, or else they're not going to grow. So all these guys look pretty good. Alright, so we're just going to lay them all in here. Some more here. Then this is my kale. I actually have not grown kale yet. I've grown lots of different lettuces, but this year will be a first for kale. I do enjoy eating kale, especially the baby kale. I think this is just regular though. Alright, so I'm going to set this aside and we'll come back to that. So as you can see here, I have them just laying out right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand them up. We're going to make a little hole in here, put their root in, and we're going to push it down in, cover it up, add some more dirt in here. I want to try to get these little guys to stay standing. They are very fragile. If you can, if it's a nice day, go ahead and sit these guys outside. They need to get some wind. It'll help strengthen them. It'll strengthen the stem because being inside, they don't get any wind, so they tend to be a little bit more delicate and they break easy. So you just want to be very careful. So we're just going to continue this with the whole egg carton. Alright, so I only had 3 egg cartons to work with today. I have to wait till I get some more so that I can keep transplanting these. So I did go ahead and get all of them done. I was able to do one whole container. I do still have 3 more of just the kale to go. I'm probably not going to use all of these. I can leave them in here for a while yet. I can even just transplant them right into the garden. It is nice to have them in here because they can grow a little better and grow stronger. They're not so closely packed together. So as you can see, they're all in their each own individual little one. Some of them are falling over. It's not a big deal. They're still a little weak. Tomorrow's supposed to be a beautiful day, so I'm going to sit them outside. They can get some wind. I saved the dirt that was in here and put it on a plate. I picked out all the seeds that I could see that was growing. I'm going to let this sit out for a couple days, and then I'm going to put it back into my potting soil bag, because why waste dirt if you don't have to? Because potting soil is expensive. So I am going to reuse that. So now let's go ahead and water these guys. I did put them on, I put this on a lid with a lip on, because the water is going to soak down into your container here, because it is just cardboard. So I'm going to water these just a little bit. You don't want to give too much, you don't want to drown them. You don't want to lose all your dirt out the sides either. If you lose a little bit, it's not a big deal. All right, there is that one. And then the other 2 I have in a container here. So we're going to water these as well and sit them back in the sunlight. All right, so I'm going to check on my carrots here. As you can see, it's all steamy from sitting in the sun. That's a good thing. It's like a little greenhouse then. They're coming up very well. These guys need transplant as well. You can see how thick some of these bunches are. Yep, they're coming up very nice. And then we also have our lid back on here. We have our spinach over here. I have it covered with saran wrap. There's a couple coming up in here. This one has 1 plant, and the other one has about 1 as well. So the only one I'm having troubles with is my onions. I only have a few little tiny things in here. For some reason, onions give me troubles. I have a hard time growing them. I may have to get the bulbs for these this year, but we're gonna try, see if we can get them to grow. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more transplanting and hopefully putting them in the garden soon.